Welcome to Strictly Speaking. I'm Bimbo Oloyede. My guest today probably needs no introduction whatsoever. His voice is well known, and perhaps his face is even better known. Please welcome Mr. Yemi Shodimu.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Strictly Speaking. You are what I would describe as the total entertainer. You act, you sing, you dance, you're on TV, you're in the theater, and then you also anchor programs on radio, and you do them in both Yoruba and English. I know that English is not your first language, but I'm wondering, which one are you more comfortable with?
Well, English is okay, but I'm not scared when it comes to Yoruba as well. I think that's the safest way I can put it. I'm very much comfortable with it.
With both of them?
Yes, very comfortable.
You know why I ask you the question? Right. It's because Yoruba is such a tonal language, and the sounds of English are completely different. And you know, when people laugh and joke and gist, that kind of thing, you can mix the two and it doesn't really make a difference. But when you speak professionally and you get these sounds mixed up, oh, it really makes a huge difference.
That is true. I guess maybe the way my brain is wired as well. Personally, it has to do a bit with my upbringing. I had very good exposure to the English language in a formal way.
Right.
And I realized the fact that way back then, while we learnt English at school, it's probably stopped at the gate of the school. Coming home, the setting at home was quite traditional.
Okay.
It was quite traditional. I can't remember having any lengthy discussion at home in English. I went to a good school that took the language serious. The people, the teachers and all that paid attention to details. Mm. But they took care of the formal part of it.
Okay.
Back at home, it was Yoruba.
Back to tradition.
That really helped.
Do you think that part of the difficulties that many people have these days in speaking correct grammatical English is because they think in their native languages? They don't think in English.
Most of us, that's the way we operate. So that people, I don't start pointing accusing fingers out there. You think Yoruba, then you speak English. In there, you're trying to navigate, you're trying to interpret, you're trying to make it make sense. The other problem I realize that they attempt not to keep things simple. When you realize the fact that this is one borrowed language, this is really not yours. If you must speak it well. Now,
I'd like to pick you up on that because I know that you are an event host. You compare, you're a master of ceremony. I wonder what you think about a situation where many of our comedians try to operate as formal masters of ceremony. Some of them are very successful. They can handle it. They can handle the formality of it. But there are many that somehow can't really cut it on both sides. What's your opinion?
There are good ones, that's as I started with. But some need to learn the ethics of handling formal events. There are certain things you don't say. There are certain words you don't use. There are certain things you will not be caught dead saying. No. If some organizers will tell you, please, don't go into comedy. I've seen events where personalities, and I mean VIPs, have left a bit embarrassed when you cross a line in terms of your interaction during the event. And that happens quite a lot. You hear some things and I say, oh my God.
How can they say such things? Yeah. Okay, well, let's quickly talk about your experience as an actor. I know, you act on stage, in films, TV drama, that sort of thing. Maybe you can briefly compare the kind of scripts that you used to have in maybe 15, 20 years ago. Can you make that comparison between those days and now?
Those days, I'll say that script writers probably meant every word they penned. Not all script writers. There's a depth in terms of a degree of research went into quite a lot of scripts. Their experience in terms of their human interactions and all that went into those scripts. A number of them, quite a number of them. I will also say that there are lesser scripts now. Lesser scripts because
fewer people are writing?
Yes, fewer people are writing. Seriously, fewer people are writing. And people tend to rely more on what the actor brings to the table now.
What I think sometimes bothers me is that you will find that dialogue is sacrificed for action. And then when you get involved, or when the actor gets involved in the action, they go overboard, they become too dramatic.
Most times I blame directors for this. Most times. Because for you to say, cut, that's okay, let's move on, it means you're satisfied.
Whereas the job has not been done.
It has not been done. Most times I blame directors. That is not to excuse actors, because in that subconscious, it is to play to the gallery, to impress or over-impress people. You make the errors. But it's also why the reason why I keep advocating for training and retraining. You can't have enough. You can't ever have enough. There are developments that you want to learn. Personally, I learn for all the hands. I learn from my mates and even the new ones that are coming in. Because some people will come in with so much vibrancy, with so much energy, and a lot of imaginations that they're bringing in to affect or impact on their act.
So you really have to have an open mind.
Yes, you really need to. You really need to.
Well, thank you so much, Yemi. I'm really grateful for the time you've spent with me. I think we've really sewn it up, really. We've talked about MCs, we've talked about actors, we've talked about scripts and directors. So you have proved that you are Mr. Entertainer.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.